Alright guys, back on the Malibu today. Took off work early because it was 70 degrees and it's supposed to be 40 tomorrow, so I thought I'd come over here and get something done as soon as I could. And there was something I needed to check so I could get some ordering done, and it's worse than I thought. I knew this back panel section of floor had holes in it. I knew when I crawled underneath it the other day, and I kind of knew here a while back it had a small hole in it. A few years ago we were messing with the exhaust and I knew it. What I didn't realize though was that the front one was bad too on this side. I'm not sure about the other side yet. I don't know how thin they are. I'm going to take a screwdriver over here in a minute, kind of beat on it and see if it'll fall through. I originally told you that I found these floor pans each section for 70 bucks or so, 75, and I went looking the other day and the cheapest one I could find was like 115, and I can't remember if that was with shipping or not. So I'm figuring at least 130, and that's per section. So that's 130. This one's going to be 130, and what I'll do is, of course, this one's going to take an entire floor pan. That'll take a lot of one, but whatever's left, if there's holes in there that are small where I don't have to replace the whole panel, I'll just take sections of this one and kind of beat them into submission and weld them in. I don't like doing that, but I can't put $500–600 into a floor either. Especially because it's not going to be in a garage. Like again, if this was going to be a 100% show car and sit in a garage all the time or whatever, I'd spend a lot more time, doing certain things and a lot more money. But this is a car that it's going to be driven every day. It's going to sit outside. It's going to be in Texas. It's going to be hot. So it's going to be black inside. So, it's going to get hot and miserable, and it rains down there. It's humid down there. So I'm not sure. I took all the jute out. It was down on the floor. It was in bad shape. You'd see it gotten wet, obviously because of the leak. This one is actually because of the leak in the windshield, and this one was because I knew that the seal was leaking around the window. I know he left the window down several times. I'd drive by the house, see the window down, and then there's many times whoever would get out of the side would not close the door all the way, which made it even worse. But the seal always leaked anyway. I put new ones in, but they were from China. And the bad thing is that's about all I can find besides OEM, which are like $300 or $400. And it's like, it's another, bunch of money just for a couple of seals. Although it would save this, my goodness. So Summit is selling. I mean, there's several companies now that are selling them, the aftermarket brand. And I hope they're different than what I bought. And mind you, those other ones were 10 years old. And so I'm hoping that they've gotten a little bit better. I won't know until I get them here. But I got a couple floors on the way, and I have decided I'm going to try to save that steering column. I don't know how much of a video I'll make of it. I'll show you definitely what's broke down inside. I'm hoping I can get down in there, and the piece that's broke has nothing to do with the tilt. It just has to do with the column itself. I don't know that for a fact. I took this thing apart a long time ago because it was loose. I think I showed you guys that when I did on one of the videos. I'll walk around here and show you again. This is that garbage I got out of there. They sell that stuff too, and I may go with something different. I may go with that, that whatever they call that stuff. But anyway, this thing acts like the knuckles are loose. I've taken this column apart several years ago, and I put a new ignition switch in it because it was getting kind of crappy, and it didn't make any difference. The bolts, there's like a 3-bolt setup that hold those tight, and they come loose a lot, and I thought that's what was loose on this, so I took the whole steering column apart to tighten them up, and they were tight. And I looked further down inside and I saw a bunch of broken pot metal pieces in there. I'm not sure what's broke, but I may take this apart instead of pulling it right here and see. I can't hurt this one any worse, and I have a replacement for it. It's just not tilt, and it has a shifter column on it. Minimum, if I can get this apart and get that piece that doesn't have the the shifter on it, then maybe that would be, I can put that on the other column at least. If I can't do the tilt thing, at least I'll have it to where it doesn't look like it has a column shift. So anyway, we'll see, mess with it, and then go from there. But anyway, I wanted to show you what happens though when you allow a leak to go too long, and unfortunately it's going to cost a lot of money and time to fix this. So I've never replaced floors before. I've seen it done a lot of times. It can't be too difficult. The biggest thing I have to watch when they get the new ones is that the seat belt placement is there, the bolts, or at least I'll have to make it to where there's a plate underneath. Well, I've got to cut these out and weld them back in, or whatever, where the seat belts, because that's important. This, safety device is important. I was really dead set against wearing a seatbelt when it came out back in the 80s, and I got a ticket back in, man, I think that was like 88, for not having a seatbelt on. They had to pull you over for some other reason at the time, and I think I was speeding. Like, I think I was going 43 and a 35 or some stupid thing like that, and he pulled me over and gave me a $10 ticket for not having a seatbelt. So for those of you wondering, it's been a law for a long time in Kansas, at least, to have to wear a seatbelt. So now that I'm a little older, a little wiser, I wear them pretty religiously, and so anyway, I'm going to make sure that these work, especially because my kids and my grandkids are going to be riding in this car, and I don't want them, of course, my daughter-in-law, and I don't want any problems, with a seatbelt failure or whatever, in case this car ever gets hit. So anyway, just kind of watch that when you do buy floors, or if you have to patch them or whatever, make sure you do it to where your seatbelt, where if it mounts on there like these do, that it's in the right place and built proper so it doesn't pull out. So anyway, little words of an old man with kids and grandkids. So anyway, I'm going to get off here, guys, and I'll keep you posted on some of this other stuff. Talk to you later.